Hello, Cheapskaters. My name is Kath, and I am the creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up, and laughing all the time. Not just when things are tight, but all the time. It's a great way to live. If this is your first time visiting our channel, welcome. And if it's not, welcome back. I am so happy you could join me tonight. Now, this is a YouTube live event. Sorry, I'm looking for my pencil. And it is Tuesday, the 30th of January, 2024. Live chat is enabled, and I would just love to chat with you. But you do need to be logged into your Gmail or your YouTube account to join in the live chat. Now, if you don't have either of those, don't panic. You can leave a comment or ask a question in the comments section below me after the show. So you might want to grab a pencil too, a piece of paper, and jot it down. Now, while we wait for everyone to join us, let's say hello to 28 people watching. That's really good. 28 people aren't tardy. Karen is off to aqua aerobics, and it's free. You go and enjoy it. Hello, Yvonne. Hello, Beverly. Hello, Jenny. Hi, Cheryl. Hello, Evelyn. Hello, Gail. Hello, G5 Salmon. Charlene. There you go. I should have known. Hello, Charlene. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Rosemary from Darwin. Is it hot and wet? Steamy and wet up there. Hello to Beverly Walsh and Kathleen. Hello, Heb from the UK. You can be on time, you can be early, you can be late. We don't mind as long as you join us, Heb. And Jenny from California. Kylie's great weather for ducks in Brisbane. Well, wasn't it very hot in Brisbane yesterday? Didn't Brisbane set a record temperature yesterday? Hello, Sylvia. Hi, Delaney. I was thinking of you before. I got bananas this afternoon for $2.50 a kilo from Woolworths, Delaney. And I sampled one when I got home because they're Wayne's favourite fruit. He inhales bananas. And it was really nice. The one I had for afternoon tea was delicious. So I thought, I must remember, and if you're on tonight, I'll tell you, Woolworths, $2.50 a kilo. Hi, Mary and Mrs. Dilligaff. Cold and wet and mouldy. It's always the way. Mould. I remember when I moved to Sydney, it rained for 6 weeks non-stop. We did not have a dry day for 6 weeks. And I was beside myself because my leather shoes, my leather handbags, my leather belts, just mildewed, and everything was just damp. It was just revolting. I wanted to pack up and come back to Melbourne. I did not like living in Sydney. Hello, Catnaps. Hello, Rosanna and Linda. It's warm in Perth. Yep. It's going to be very warm here on Sunday, guys. Hello, Sandra. Hi, Maureen. You're not late. Hello, Colleen. Yeah, see if you can. They were really, really nice. They had two on the tray, on the table, whatever they call it. There were two lots. There were some that were very, very green, so we skipped those, and I took the ones that were just starting to turn. It was delicious. Hello, Melissa and Aisha. Okay. All right, how have you all been? I've had vertigo. I thought I was getting the flu again, or whatever that bug was again. And, I'm a slow learner. It takes a few goes for something to sink in. And then all of a sudden, I was sitting up and falling over, and sitting up and wanting to throw up. And oh no. So horizontal, my head sort of doing the exercises, and the anti-nausea, lots of ginger tea, and I've got some tablets for nausea. So I started on those, but it was still, because I ignored it, still took me a couple of days to get almost back to normal. I've still got a bit of the wobbles if I turn my head too quickly, or if I get up too quickly, or I thought I was falling out of bed last night. That was hilarious because I went to roll over. I thought, oh no, I'm going to fall out, but I wasn't. So, yeah, vertigo is awful. And unless you actually have it or have had it, it's hard to explain. It's really hard to explain. So if I was off the computer most of the time, and not reading or doing anything much, because it was really really annoying more than anything else, because I had things I wanted to do. My list is getting longer. Kathleen says green apples help with nausea. I've got green apples on the apple tree too. All right. So that was my exciting 3 or 4 days. Started to feel off over the weekend. Hi, Joy. But I didn't do much. That was probably a sign, because I had a big long list of things that I wanted to get done, just little things that, but lots of them. Didn't do anything. Anyway, such is life. Rosemary says, closet camels are fantastic in the car and the house, $2 at a cheap shop. They're like, what are those blue things we get from Bunnings? Yeah, moisture absorbers anyway. So that's handy to know. Yeah. It's worse when I put my arm out and grab hold of Wayne and go, I'm going to fall out of bed. I'm not moving. I just think I'm going to fall out of bed. I grab him and wake him up every single time. Doesn't matter. Damprid, thank you. I think there's a move for those too in Members Centre. All right. Okie dokie, 7:38. Let's get started, because the sooner we start, the sooner we can chat. Yeah. Vertigo can be set off by anything. I never had it until I was pregnant, and I was bedbound for 16 weeks and pretty much flat for 16 weeks. And every time I sat up, it would be like, like I was on a boat. And now, even now, if I'm watching anything, boats on water, especially the ocean where they tend to do the rocking and the up and downing, no, that will set it off too. It's an awful thing. It's really quite weird. Sometimes you think it doesn't exist, but it does. Okay, let's get started. It's almost February. It's the 30th of January. We've got 1 day to go, and then it's February. Kids are back to school today, tomorrow. So you know what that means. It's our annual spending freeze. If you're new here, every February is a no spending month for the Cheapskates Club and Cheapskaters. This year will be the 23rd year we've had a no spending challenge for February. 23 years, guys. I have to throw at a party in a couple of years. Now, why February when everyone else seems to do their things in January? Because honestly, for me, when I started this, January was just too hard. I think it's too hard for most people. It's the summer holidays. It's right after Christmas. There are bills to pay and kids to get back to school. There's summer fun to be had. And you know what? Even a cheapskate likes to have a little money to spend on summer fun. So not spending during January just didn't make sense to me way back then. Still doesn't. And while I don't have the bills to pay because we own our Christmas and don't have kids in school anymore, woohoo! We were so rich when we were able to stop paying school fees. It's still a busy month for us, January. We've got birthdays. We've got a lot of birthdays in January. It's our wedding anniversary. It's peak camping time for us, peak four-wheel driving time. We don't want to not spend money in January. And you know what? February's only 28 this year, 29 days long, exactly 4 weeks. And that's a really big thing psychologically. It's an even number. It's exactly 4 weeks. In our minds, it's doable. And being February, all those things just make the challenge seem more doable than doing it in January or May that have what we consider 5 weeks, or June or September that, aren't an even 4 weeks because of the 30 days. It's mind games, folks. Mind games, pure and simple. But they do influence us, even if we don't realise it. So, no spending month this year. I'm going to call it Frugal February, because as well as not spending, and I will cover the spending or no spending aspect in a moment, I'm going to challenge everyone, even me, to be as frugal as possible. Guys, prices are still rising. I don't care what the local politician says. I don't care what the economist from the big bank says. I don't care what they say. If they're not doing my shopping on my budget, they have no idea. They might say prices are coming down. Maybe they are on the things they buy, but on the basics that I buy, the plain ingredients that I buy, prices are not coming down. And, there's more and more things missing from the supermarket shelves. Woolworths today, no cream, no sour cream, no block cheese, no block tasty cheese, the kilo blocks. They had half kilo blocks. They're too expensive. They had milk today. Last week they didn't have milk. There was no... What else did I notice was missing? Crackers. I went to get some crackers, just some plain ordinary crackers. No, nothing. They weren't there. Temporarily unavailable. Seriously? Temporarily unavailable on especially things like milk, sour cream. Now, I know a lot of the wet weather has caused issues with dairy farmers, but that milk has to be going somewhere and being used for something. Anyway, sometimes they are only temporarily unavailable, like eggs, when we had the egg shortage last year. Some things are just gone for good because they just can't be got anymore. Everything is costing us more, and living within our means, within the money we have, is getting harder and harder. Anyone with a mortgage will understand what I'm saying, or anyone who's paying rent will understand what I'm saying, or anyone who had children to deck out for the new school year will know the pain of a long shopping list and an empty purse. So for the month of February, I'm going to challenge myself and you to be as frugal as possible and to not spend a single cent that isn't absolutely necessary. Now, I'm not asking you to not spend any money, because I know there are things I'll need to spend on, and I won't ask you to do anything that I won't do myself. I just won't do it. And I know that it's just plain almost impossible to not spend a cent on anything at all for a month. At the very least, most of you will need to pay the mortgage or the rent. put fuel in the car. There may be chemist bills you have to get, prescriptions you have to get, those sorts of things. So it's really, you might get a water bill come in, or a gas bill, or an electricity bill, an insurance bill. It's really difficult to not spend any money at all. But I said on anything that's not absolutely necessary. Now, last year, those who did the No Spending Month challenge might remember that I challenged you all to put the money that you didn't spend into your slush fund, with the aim of using that money to boost your pantry at the end of the month. And I know so many of you were able to do just that. It might not have been hundreds of dollars, but every little bit helps. So I'd like to continue on with that goal, to boost the slush fund, so that at the end of the month I'll have, and you'll have, some cash to boost our pantries without it affecting our grocery budget at all. So how are we going to do this? Oh, there's rules. Of course there's rules. Everything I do has rules. But they're really simple. For Frugal February, you can't spend money on magazines or takeaway meals. Nope. No picking the kids up from sport now that school's back and sport's back, and going through the Macca's drive-thru on the way home, or ordering a pizza. Nope. Get out the crock pot and put something in it before you leave in the morning, so that it will be ready when you get home. So no takeaway meals, no restaurant meals. Excuse me. Have a drink. Try new recipes at home. I have a gazillion recipes saved that I could try. So we'll try new recipes. Set your table nicely. Use the candles that you've got in the drawer for atmosphere. Make your dining room into a little restaurant. Even for your ordinary meals, just tizzy it up a bit. It just is nicer. No tuck shop or canteen. The kids can go a month without tuck shop lunch. It won't hurt them. No buying morning tea or lunch or afternoon tea. Eat what you have at home. Take your lunch, take your morning tea, take your afternoon tea, take your snacks. Fill your water bottles up, put them in the fridge or the freezer, and take them with you. No going to the movies. And I've been seeing, this one might be hard, I've been seeing an ad for one called Argyle, about a cat that's supposed to be a spy. It just appealed to me from the name, Argyle. I thought, might like to go to the movies. No, we're not going to the movies. We'll wait till it comes on, whatever it is that we got for free, Paramount, and see if we can watch it. No new clothes. You can go a month without buying new clothes. No new toys for the kids, because Christmas, it was only 5 weeks ago. There's no need for new toys. They have enough. No DVDs, no CDs, no downloading from any of your apps, any of your music apps. Nope. Unless it's free, no. No buying new books. This is always a hard one for me, because I love books, but there are literally hundreds of millions of books free that you can download and read on your computer, or on your Kindle, or your, what's the Amazon one's, Kobo, your reading device. You can download them and read them on your phone. So there's heaps, hundreds of millions of them that you can download for free. You would never need to buy a book again. Just borrow them from the library. No buying new apps. If they're not free, you're not buying them. If it's really useful, make a note of it, and then, in March, if you go back to it and think, yes, I do really want it and I can afford it, go for it then. No weekends away. This is always a hard one for me, because I like weekends away. No meeting at friends with coffee shop. No unnecessary trips in the car. No new curtains or towels or ornaments or sheets or whatever for the house. No new shoes. Doesn't matter if they're a great sale. You don't need them. No craft supplies. Even if they're on clearance, Kath, no craft supplies. Use your stash. No going to the hairdresser or for a manicure or a pedicure. Do your own. Learn to give haircuts. Try a home colour. No alcohol. Give it up for the month. Guys, it's only 28 days. See how much money you save. No junk food. There's tons of moo recipes and alternatives in the recipe files that use what you have in the pantry to make really good snacks and treats. No spending on anything else that isn't absolutely essential to living for the next 28 days. What you can spend your money on are the bills that fall due in February, the utilities, insurances, car registration, school fees if you've got them. Pharmacy. Be smart. Don't go without your prescribed medications. They're prescribed for a reason, so you need to follow your doctor's advice and take them. You can spend money on school expenses that must be paid this month. So school photos, camps, any excursions. Hopefully you've got them covered in your school budget. But if you can, skip them, or find, especially with the photos, choose a cheaper package. No fuel. Oh, no, you can buy fuel. Fuel for necessary car trips. No fuel for just wandering off. So to get to work, to do the important things. And it might be interesting to see if you only drive when you have to where you have to go, how much fuel you save, how much money you save, how much time you save. It's amazing how many times people will jump in the car to go and do something. And they don't really need to jump in the car and go and do it then. Combine your trips. We all know combining trips saves money, saves time, saves energy. Is just a brilliant thing to do. You can spend money on emergency home repairs that you can't do yourself. And YouTube is your friend when it comes to DIY. So check to see if you're able to make any repairs yourself before you call the handyman. Often you can. It's a really good thing to do. And please don't stop buying food. Buy the basic groceries you would normally buy each week or fortnight or for the month. Don't let your pantry run down, because that's not only running the risk of not being able to get what you need to replace it, but it could end up costing you more in the long run. I know pantry challenges are a really big thing, but just keep doing your basic shopping. Leave out the extras that sometimes slip in, the more exotic ingredients or the treats, the box of tiny teddies for the little one's lunchbox or whatever. And anything you can move, don't buy. Now, I will never tell you to run your pantry down, to eat your pantry down. I may tell you to use up what is getting close to best before or use by. Or if you've got open packets or tin boxes or whatever, or jars, to use those up. But at the same time, I'll always tell you to be sure to replace them as you use them so that your pantry stays stocked. Running down the pantry, even in more stable times than what we're seeing now, is not a smart thing to do. Pantry challenges sound great. Yes, you can clean out the pantry, clean out the fridge, clean out the freezer, use up all those things, but then you're starting from scratch to build up your pantry again. Now, you should have, in theory, some grocery money because you've not been spending it to help you with that. But again, shortages, price hikes, temporarily unavailable, ships stuck in the Red Sea, flooding, cyclones, all these things impact our ability to get food into our pantries. So don't run your pantry down. You want to do a pantry challenge, go right ahead. But as you take something out of the pantry to use it, put it on your shopping list to replace it. Straight away. Don't wait. It's not a smart thing to do. It might be popular on YouTube, and here I go being the opposite of everyone else again, but it is not a smart thing to do. So I'll stop here and I'll zip over here. Oh my gosh, we've got 68 people watching. And okay. Hello, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Star Wars Stew, nice Joy. Yeah, Kathleen, the dairy shortages are erratic and odd. Hev's in, prices are still going up, shelves are smaller and emptier. Yeah. We are finding that here. I know people say that they're not. They obviously don't shop for the things that I shop for. If you even now, if you use it, replace it straight away. Don't wait. You know, I was the queen of once a year shopping. I would go back to once a year shopping in a heartbeat. I loved it. 1 week of grocery shopping and putting everything away and getting everything inventoried, and it was done. Didn't have to do it for another 51 weeks. I loved once a year grocery shopping. But not being able to get what we need, and it's not things that we want, things that we need when we need them, is just plain, it's annoying, but it's more importantly, it's terrifying. So don't run your pantry down. During this challenge, don't run your pantry down. Hello, Catherine. Bento lunch boxes. Yes, they are good for using up scraps and leftovers. I have a whole stack of 2, 3, and 4 partition ones that I just got from Kmart. They're just plain black with the lids, and I think they're supposed to be single use, but I've been using them for about 4 years. They were really, really cheap, and they're really good for leftovers in the fridge or freezer, because take the lid off, pop them in the microwave, and if you're reheating, reheat on medium-high, don't reheat on high. And they're great, and they go in the dishwasher, which is always a bonus for me. So they are really good. And they're well worth. They weren't expensive. They're about $8, I think, for 10. Not expensive at all. Hello, Amanda. Well, Kathleen, that's fine. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm pretty sure that you've got it all worked out and budgeted for and whatever, so consider it a bill to be paid. That's a special event. And use the leftovers. You'll be fine. Hello, Amanda. Yep, Rosemary's got her car covered. Hello, Bobster. It's 4.5 hours away. Oh my gosh, in February. That's all right. I noticed the Scotch fingers myself this afternoon because I wanted to make the lemon coconut slice, you know, the condensed milk and the butter and the lemon icing, whatever, because it's too hot to put the oven on. And I'm like, $1.50. I remember when they were 89 cents. I remember when they were 69 cents. And they were just 75 cents, then 79 cents, then 89 cents. It's like Scotch fingers. So in the recipe file, there is actually a recipe to make a biscuit base from flour and coconut and whatever. You make it, bake it, and then crush it to make a no-bake biscuit base, if that makes sense, with baked biscuits. So I will be doing that. Hello, Leanne. You are welcome to join Frugal February. The more the merrier. Joy's got the black containers, cool, or bento boxes. That's exactly right, Selena. Not everyone can just run out and spend however much it costs to restock your pantry when it's bare. That's another thought, plus the time, plus the frustration of having to do it. Putting it away is annoying because I like everything in order, like all the cans turned the right way. So yeah, don't run your pantries down. It's just not worth it. No pool stuff, but you got chocolate. Well, you know, that works. Colleen's doing a no-buy clothes and shoes year. She's going to use what she has. We have a lot of clothes. Even those of us who don't have as many clothes as others still have a lot of clothes. When you think back that even just maybe 100 years ago, 80 years ago, people had one good set of clothes for church, for weddings, for funerals, for going out to special events and occasions and things. And then they had 2 or 3 sets of clothes for around the house, and it was usually one on, one in the wash, and one spare. And clothes were worn more than once. They were sponged. They weren't just worn for a couple of hours and tossed into the wash. They were hung up. They were sponged, aired, pressed again if they needed to be, ironed again if they needed to be. They weren't, I was going to say disposable. Our clothes aren't disposable, but they weren't, you know, just turning them over all the time. Ouch. Tasty cheese was 11, went 10.50. Woolworths today it was 13.90. Youch. Youch. Maybe we just need to learn how to make hard cheeses. It's on my bucket list to make hard cheeses. Yeah, Amanda, cheese is becoming a luxury item, so maybe we need to learn how to make hard cheeses. All right, let me get back to my notes because I mentioned Frugal February. I've changed the name from No Spending Month to Frugal February because I think the second part of this challenge, the first part is we're going to not spend our money and save it up so we can, you know, in March do a bigger shop and add to our boost our pantry. But the second part of this challenge, I want us to be as frugal as possible. Now, I know we are all pretty frugal. Some of us are brilliant at frugality. But can we do better? Can we use less water so the water bill is just a bit lower? Can we use less electricity so the power bill is a bit lower? Can we go over our insurances and get quotes so we're sure we're paying the least amount and we're ready to move insurers when the policies are due? Can we learn to moo a few more grocery items? And, March is moo month, so I've already got quite a few listed to do in March. Can we look at our shopping list and compare prices between supermarkets so we know we're paying the lowest price? Use your price book, guys. Get it up to date. Can we update the fuel apps we use to ensure we only fill up with fuel when it's at its lowest, in the cycle? I got fuel today. I use the discounts. We use our RACV card and then the Everyday Rewards card, and I buy our milk in store because it's the same price, and it saves us 13 cents a litre of our fuel. That makes a big difference between the Bowser price and what we ended up paying. Today it was $6.73. So it's that's a good whack of money to not spend, just by being smart enough to check the fuel app, find which service station in our area was the cheapest, and then remember to use those three things combined to get that discount. And I didn't have to go out of my way to find a service station to do it either. I searched. I used I don't know what the apps are called. I've got 3 on my phone, all different. And so I search them with different criteria and find which one's got the cheapest service station. Being frugal, it just means we're not wasting a thing. It doesn't mean we're being mean. It doesn't mean we're being stingy. It doesn't mean we're living in misery or, poverty. It means not wasting a thing. And one of the ways we don't waste anything is the whiteboard on our fridge. Now, some of you have seen it in different videos. I use that whiteboard to keep track of what's in the fridge, what's in the freezer, so nothing gets wasted. So it helps me, but it helps everyone else in the house too, because they look at the list and they see what needs to be used if they're making their lunch or they're looking for a snack or they need a quick dinner because they were out and didn't get home in time or whatever. Nothing gets wasted. Now, our recycling changed July last year, and we've now got a silly little compost buckety thing that sits on our sink, and it's got a bag in it, and we're supposed to put all the food scraps in there. All the food scraps. You can put the meat in, you can put bones in, you can all sorts of things, eggshells, whatever. All your food scraps can go into that bucket, and then it goes into the green bin. Well, I'd be lucky to put the veggie peelings in if it's things that I can't give to the worms. Wayne looks after the compost, so I don't need to do that. I feed the worms, but the onion skins can't go to the worms, little things like that. So we've retired the bokashi bucket for the moment because we're using this green waste one to see how it goes. I prefer my bokashi. I don't have a lot of food scraps, of food waste to put out. Tomorrow's clean out the fridge day because Thursday is bin day. But there's not much in the fridge, and that needs to be cleaned out. It's all in there with a purpose, and it will all get used. And I keep track of it on this whiteboard on the fridge. Now, you may not have to do that. That's fine. Do whatever works for you. That's an easy way for me to keep track of it. Hangs on the fridge. When it's used up, it gets rubbed out. When something else comes in, it gets written on. It's easy. Because food waste is a huge portion of most household grocery budgets. I've forgotten how much it was. It's an enormous amount of money. People say, all the time. Every week, send out the newsletter, and every week someone will get comments about the $300 a month food challenge. Can't possibly do it. It's impossible. You know, even beans and rice cost more than that a month. Yada, 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 yada. And just the other day, Sunday afternoon, had a lady, and she wanted to know if $1,200 a month for a family of 4 was enough. Not too much, but enough. I was, wow, that's 4 months grocery money if you're on the $300 a month food challenge. I can't imagine spending $1,200 a month on food for a family of 4. I can't imagine what you'll buy to spend that much. So, you know, I said, yeah, no, cut it back, was my advice. We had a bit of a conversation about it. Cut it back. But stop the waste. Use what you have. Use it all. Buy ingredients, because ingredients give you options. And ingredients are cheaper in the long run. And if you do that, you'll find that $300 a month is not only still doable, but it's reasonably easy too. I said reasonably easy. You know, there will be challenges. And not everyone has the same size family. Not everyone shops at the same store, buys the same food items in the same quantities. Not everyone uses them the same way. So it's a general budget amount. But aim for it. And if you find it's not working, boost it by 10%. Add another $30 to it and see how you go. Because it is actually doable, and you do actually eat very well if you can do that. Now, this challenge is not meant to make you miserable. That's not why we live the cheapskates way. We don't want to be sad and sorry. I'm hoping I've designed the challenge to show you at the end how much money you spend on those discretionary things, like the odd coffee or nails or craft supplies, or that box of caramelized onion and bacon crackers that sounded really good in the store, but they were $4 a box for a little tiny box. Things like that. How much driving you do that isn't really necessary, so that at the end of the month, when you look back at what's left in your bank account, you know that if you cut those things out, you're going to have that money left at the end of the month, every month. And you can use it to build your savings, pay extra off your mortgage, save up for your family holiday, boost your super for retirement if that's what you want to do. And that you can do those things without feeling deprived and without being miserable. Now, it's also hopefully designed to show you how you can be more frugal in your lifestyle without being a sad sack, without being miserable, without going without the things you need, so that if there's something you want, you know you can save up and have it, and you'll have cash to pay for it if you really want to. Now, a very interesting thing on the news today. Bank West has closed another 3 branches in Western Australia. Bank West is going completely digital. That was what they said. They do not want to have physical branches. You know why? Because nobody goes into them. You know why nobody goes into them? Because they don't have any. Seriously. I wanted to scream at the TV. And then, what's her name? Retired at the last election. Can't remember her name. It's gone. She was saying, nobody uses cash anymore. Everybody loves digital. They love online banking. They love, online shopping. Nobody uses cash anymore. Because you can't get it, because there's no banks around and the ATMs are disappearing. Honestly, give me 10 minutes with that lady and we'd see if you change your mind. Okay, so when you can, use cash, guys. That's my advice. When you can, use cash. But the challenge, it's designed to show you, we'll get back to this. Now I'm off my soapbox. It's designed to show you that you don't need to rely on credit to survive. You don't need to rely on credit to live a wonderful life. You can do it with what you've got by being a little wiser in how it's used. No. Is the $300 a month after your pantry is full and you are doing moo with most items? No. No, it's now. Start now. If you haven't started, start now with what you've got and boost your pantry. It can be done. If you do not know what the $300 a month food challenge is, let me just check. I'm pretty sure. Make sure I've got no sound on. Maybe I haven't got it listed here. I'll put a link to it underneath me after the show. But no, if you've got your pantry full, $300 a month is a breeze. If you're starting out, you will have to put some effort into it and work to build your pantry, but it can be done. It most certainly can be done. Yes, I agree, Aisha. Lots of people don't know how to cook. Crikey, they're building whole apartment blocks with no kitchens in them. So, you know, they're encouraging people to eat out. Now, is it Dave Ramsey? A quote of Dave Ramsey's: Americans spend on average per head $3,600 and I've forgotten how much, over $3,600 a year on takeaway and restaurant foods and cafe foods and things like that. So for Wayne and I, that's $7,200 a year. You wouldn't spend that much in 20 years. So people don't know how to cook. And you know what? There is no excuse for not knowing how to cook. If you're watching me, you've got access to the internet. You've got access to YouTube. There are gazillions of channels out there that will show you how to cook. Go to the website and I will show you how to boil water. 3 different ways I will show you how to boil water. Because there are people who say they can't even boil water. Well, let's see. I'm pretty sure we go back to basics. They can boil water. $2,000 a month. Okay. Now, before I go, $2,000 a month, which I just did. Sorry, Leanne. Family of 4. That very much depends on where you live, where you shop, what you buy, whether you buy ingredients or whether you buy convenience, dietary needs. Do you have special dietary needs? Now, I know I had one son who had sensory issues and couldn't stand, wouldn't eat peas, wouldn't eat corn, didn't like baked beans, did not like that, the feel of those foods in his mouth. But it wasn't an expensive thing for us. He just didn't get them on his plate. He got extra of the other stuff that he would eat. But there are people that have those issues. You might be celiac, you might be insulin dependent diabetic, you might, I don't know, need to follow a special diet for arthritis or blood pressure or whatever. You could live remote. You could not have access to the supermarkets that I have. So while I think $2,000 is a lot to spend on food for a month, I'd try to cut it back a bit if I could, until I hit the point where I couldn't go any lower. And there's a way to do that on our website. Wow, $2,000 a month. So, but we're glad you're here. $300 a month on takeaway. So we could do takeaway. It's nicer. Start with pizza. We make pizzas from scratch every Thursday, with a yeast dough. People that are scared of using yeast, trust me, it's easy. And we do 3, I don't know what size they are. They're big, 3, I think they're called large, not family size, but large pizzas. And I think the boys said the boys buy their salami, and I think they said it's gone up a bit. So it costs about $8 to make 3 pizzas. It's pretty cheap. It's darn sight cheaper than buying takeaway. Fish and chips you can do at home. Hamburgers you can do at home. Noodle box you can do at home. And if you want the authentic thing, go and reject shop and get some noodle boxes. These are all things that you can do. Leanne, okay. Can I come back to you when I've finished? Is that all right? I'll come back to you, because where to start? With your pantry. Okay. Amanda, it's not going to bother them though. It's not going to bother them though, because they don't have the financial commitments that you and I have. Not going to bother them. I think the elite, for want of a better word, they don't care. Not going to bother them. Colleen does all homemade cleaners. Yep. Miracle spray, microfiber cloth and water. Pretty much does it all. Yeah, Kylie, those birthday parties were killers, weren't they? Macca's birthday parties. Yeah, ours were the same. All right. Okay. All right. When I was doing yearly shopping, I had about $1,800 to do my yearly shop, because I had to keep some back to buy the perishable things through the year, the milk, fruit and veg that we didn't grow, cheese, stuff like that. So it was fairly split. So my yearly shop was the non-perishable, the shelf-stable items, toilet paper, shampoo, toothpaste, that sort of stuff. Joy is ever the diplomat. I just love the way Joy can turn something into a positive, turn a negative into a positive. So where's it? I've lost it. So now I'm back to my monthly shop. I have $375 a month, 380 I think it is, and I'm trying my best to not use that. Oh, I've lost it. Okay. All right. Mary just hit the nail on the head. Simple meals. Okay, turn off MasterChef, turn off My Kitchen Rules. Do not watch them. Apart from the fact that the food is revolting. Sorry, guys, it's just not. It's just not. It is grossly overpriced. Simple. Get yourself a common sense cookery book. Get yourself a CWA cookery book. Any of them from any of the states or the national one, whatever. If you're in New Zealand, get yourself the Edmonds cookery book. I love my Edmonds book. I use it all the time. I use my Common Sense all the time, and I go through my CWA books all the time for different recipes because they are real food for ordinary family recipes, and few ingredients, basic ingredients. Again, ingredients, not a lot of tins, not a lot of packets, not a lot of what I would call exotic herbs and spices. They are basic things, but they are all tasty, easy to make, easily doubled, which means that if you doubled everything you made for a month, then next month you don't have to cook. I love double up cooking, and they're cheap. They're cheap, guys. They're inexpensive. I don't like the way those cooking shows are marketed to make us feel like we're missing out, we're not doing the right thing, our cooking isn't up to scratch because we're not, spending $100 to make a meal. I don't like that at all. Don't watch them. Turn them off. Ignore them. They're not even good for ideas. Seriously. Not even good for ideas. Yep, look in the recipe files. We've got $2 recipes. Every recipe in the recipe file has been submitted either by me or by a cheapskater. So they work. Now, there's some there that are more special occasion than others, but they are all really good, really tasty, economical, real food. And they're fairly healthy. Fairly healthy. Rosanna, pick one. Just go through your books and pick one. Just pick one that has meals that appeal to you, not dinner party meals or anniversary meals or special occasion meals, but just everyday meals, just everyday recipes that appeal to you, and use that. Go through that. Like I said, the CWA cookbooks, Edmonds if you're in New Zealand, you can get it sent to Australia, but it's a bit pricey. I've given it as gifts a couple of times. Common Sense Cookery, it's been republished I don't know how many times. I've got my mother-in-law's from 1930 something, and I've got my mother's from 1956, I think it is, and I've got mine was published in 2000 and might have been 2010, 2011. So it is still being published. It's been updated, of course, because it's gone from imperial to metric, but it's just basic recipes, and it will take you back to it will tell you how to roast a chicken, how to roast a leg of lamb, how to cook a ham, how to make a vegetable soup, how to make a stock soup. I've got that on our website. Those things are all there. How to make one chicken feed you for 3 meals. All that information's on our website, and it's not difficult, and it's not being stingy. Now, for Australia Day, last Friday. It was a beautiful day, and it was a nice, peaceful day for us, actually. And we always barbecue. We barbecue pretty much from October till March. Daylight savings, we barbecue. But Australia Day, we always barbecue. Doesn't matter where we are, it's a barbecue. And so we were home, so we had salads. And I went off to try and we haven't had steak for ages. So I finally found some steak, and it was not cheap. It cost $32. Lucky it was a special occasion and I had some spare cash for 4 pieces of steak. And it was so bad, I didn't eat it and I actually took it back. It was awful. Wayne was trying to barbecue it, and it was almost like, it looked fine in the packaging. When we opened it and unwrapped it, it was a bit like it had been pressed, offcuts pressed together. And when he went to pick it up with the tongs, it just all fell to bits. It was curly like a spiral. It was disgusting. And for $32 for 4, and they were little steaks, they weren't whoppers, I was not happy. So I took it back, which is not answering your question, Rosanna, but any of those cookbooks. But if you've got a lot, find one that has recipes in it that appeal to you, that aren't going to take all day to make, that don't have 35 ingredients or need lots of special equipment to make them, and go from there. And maybe just introduce one new recipe a week, see how you go. Yep, we say they're simple meals, but really they're not. Knowing how to grill fish or grill chicken properly is a skill. How to put a salad together so it's appealing is a skill. It's a culinary skill. How to cook a jacket potato so it's not rock hard on the outside and it's still steamy and fluffy on the inside, that's a culinary skill. We can get those right. It's not a simple meal. I don't know why we call them simple meals. It's a delicious meal. Yeah. Yeah, Joy. Yeah. Salad mix is so outrageously expensive. Please, just hideous. If that's the case, Selena, then you compensate. So, I do a roast every Sunday. You look at my meal plan and it goes chicken, lamb, chicken, beef, chicken, lamb, chicken, beef, chicken, lamb, chicken, beef. Okay. I do that because I can get chickens cheap, whole chickens cheap, and I freeze them. They go into the freezer. I get a leg of lamb. From a leg of lamb, it's about 1.8, 2 kilos. That will do us 3 meals plus soup, because I can do soup from the bone. You stretch it, but they're expensive. Well, it's not so much anymore. It's cheaper than mince at the moment, lamb. But when it was expensive, how can you afford a leg of lamb? That's how. It might have been a $25 leg of lamb, but it fed us for 3 meals plus soup, so pretty much 4 meals out of that $25. So that's $6.25 a meal. Not bad for the meat portion of a meal, of a roast dinner. If you look at it that way, you don't waste it. But also, when you have those expensive things, you compensate by having less expensive things on the other nights. So, quiche, rissoles, hamburgers, sausages. And I'm not a fan of sausages, I have to say. Not a fan of sausages, but I love curried sausages. And I love Colleen's sausage casserole, the recipes on our website. I love sausages in plum sauce, so they go all sticky. I love that. I love them like that. I don't mind them barbecued on bread with onion and sauce, but, you know, sausages and onion gravy, I like them. Now, because I'm not a fan of sausages, I don't just buy the bulk packs of mystery bags. Doesn't appeal to me at all. So I do pay a little bit extra for the sausages, but it still works out cheaper than a more expensive steak or whatever. So compensate. It's a bit of juggling. Go meatless one meal. That will free up some money in your budget. That sort of thing. You don't need to. You don't need to spend. No, that's not what I was going to say. You don't need to buy in bulk or you know, have a cheap butcher to be able to do those things, to still enjoy the more expensive cuts of meat, if that's what you want to do. You just swiggle them around. And like Joy said, you don't say we're having sausages tonight because we had steak last night and we can't afford it tonight. I thought I'd try this new gravy on the sausages. What do you think? Or whatever. Yeah, Evelyn's recipes are from her mum, her mother-in-law, her nan. Yep. Way to go, Selena. Once you know how to make stock, opens up a whole new world for you. I use stock to cook rice. I use stock, obviously, as the base of soup. I use stock to make gravy and sauces. I use stock to cook pasta if it's going into a pasta bake. I use stock for all sorts of things, not just, you know, it is so versatile. And if you can make it yourself, saving a fortune already. Saving a fortune already. 4 ingredients cookbooks, yes, although they tend to use a lot of tins. I don't have a problem with tins. I use tin tomato soup, and I've got cream of chicken soup on my shelf for when I don't have it made in the pantry. But they do tend to use a lot of tins, and tins can be expensive. So you just watch them. But in saying that, you can look at the recipe and go, well, I know how to make tomato soup, so I'll make the tomato soup. And there you go. Or the cream of chicken soup or the cream of mushroom soup or whatever. And if you want to know how to do that, go to our website, guys. It's there. Look for the recipe for condensed cream of chicken soup. That's the one that's like the tins. Never thought of a hunting and fishing shop. I always order the sausage skins from Australian Butcher. They're happy to get them for me. Woohoo! I love making sausages. Hannah bought the attachment for me a long time ago for my KitchenAid. I love making sausages. Yeah, and you can do whichever ones you like. You can do them to suit yourself. There you go, Jamie Oliver. Yeah, I'm not a fan either. Fried rice, curries, pasta sauce meals. Yep, they do make a little go a long way. French shepherd's pie makes a little go a long way. And it's one of Hannah's favourite things. And she always says, can I have French shepherd's pie? And I'm like, oh, no, I'm so sick of it. Lentil patties, corn fritters, quick rice patties are very inexpensive. There we go. Kylie's got it down. She hasn't been up north in Brisbane very long either. She's got it all down pat. Way to go. I've heard of Mega Meats at Browns Plains. Haven't heard of Big Gun. Yeah, once every 3 months. I used to do the meat, a quarterly meat shop if I had to. From scratch, apricot chicken, yes. pea and ham soup. It is cheaper, Annabelle. Yes, it's cheaper than takeaway or getting it delivered. There's a lot of those books. If you can go back to the very beginning, I think the first one was the green one or the red one, green one. Try that. Get the first ones. The later ones got a bit, well, for me, I thought the later ones are they weren't quite as good. I like basic things. Yes. No, I don't have a manual sausage maker. So, Delaney, what a skill to have, sausages, making sausages. Yep. Okay, now, sorry, I got sidetracked. We'll go back to Frugal February and then we can keep chatting if you want to. I really hope everyone joins me for Frugal February. I'm quite looking forward to it. Every year I do the no spending challenge in February, and every single year I find some things I simply don't need, even if I think I need them, and lots of them I don't really want. And I get to decide if I'll keep spending that part of my budget on them, or if I'm going to not spend, find an alternative that I already have and use the money for something else. So if I can do it, and if I can learn about my spending habits still, anybody can, including you. So here's the go. Hop on over to the Cheapskates Club website on Thursday, because Thursday is the 1st. And I'll have all the Frugal February challenge stuff up there on our homepage. I'll put some information in our weekly newsletter too. If you're new and you're not subscribed to the newsletter, it is free. It goes out every week. There is a link below me, or there will be after the show. I send it out every Thursday about 11 a.m. I've done that since May 2001. It's a lot of newsletters. In 23 years, I think there's only been 7 weeks when a newsletter hasn't gone out, usually for some sort of technical problem that I couldn't fix. Once it was because I was in hospital and I hadn't scheduled it, but that's a lot of newsletters. So feel free to subscribe to the newsletter. It's a great introduction to the Cheapskates Club if you are new. And I'll also have the forum chat started on Thursday, so members can log in, they can go to the forum, join the conversation. It's a really good place to share your hints and your tips on getting through a no spending month, and sharing your successes, your wins, sometimes your disappointments. We all have them, but we are a very supportive bunch of like-minded people, and finding like-minded people in this day and age can be tricky. We've all had ups and downs when it comes to spending, so we are very understanding. Okay, it's 8:44. I have gone over, but I didn't mean to. If you've made it this far, thank you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I do read all the comments. I do my best to answer your questions. Just give me time to do it. And I will finish off by asking if you could help me and our channel just by subscribing to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And all you have to do is click the subscribe button and then the little bell, and that just means we'll notify you every time we go live or I upload a new video. If you like tonight's show, I would so very much appreciate it if you could click the like button too. Every subscriber, every like helps our channel grow, and that makes it easier to find. And if it's easier to find, it's easier for us to spread the message that it's not only possible to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing, but absolutely doable even in the craziness of 2024. Now, if you'd like to stay with me, feel free for the after show chat. And if you have to leave us now, Glad you could join us. I'll be back next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. So have a great week and happy cheapskating. Okay, now give me a minute to zip back for the chat and catch up, and we can keep talking if that's what you would like to do. Right. Okay. All right. Got to go back and find where we were. Okay. Okay, guys, lots of conversation going on tonight. That's really good. We've still got 73 people watching. Woo! I think I've got Stephanie Alexander's. Is that the Kitchen Garden one? No. Cook's Companion. Very nice. I went to a luncheon where she was the guest speaker a long time ago now, probably about 10 years ago. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Fascinating woman. Listen to her speak. Really, really interesting. Yeah. Well, that was Hannah telling me she was going nuts because she had a birthday or something to go to, and it was at a pub. And her standard when she's out, because she's not always sure about the quality of the meals, is just a chicken parma. And she said it was $38 for chicken parma, chips, and a little bowl of salad. $38, folks. I said, did the chicken dance in? Goodness me, $38, yeah. It's really hard, but do your pub meal at home. Think about what you used to get and do your pub meal at home. Gail says some libraries have common sense cookbooks. Oh, Rosanna, you've got 3 of my books. Well done, thank you. Leanna, I hope we were able to help you a little bit. Lots of tips. Come back next week. If you're not on our Facebook group, please feel free to join us. We would love to have you. Night, Mary. Night, Colleen. Yes, I am going to speak to, well, Leanne's, if she's still here. Now, $2,000 a month is a lot of money. Some people don't even earn that much. That is a lot of money. So I would go back, start with what you've got in the house. This is probably going to take you a weekend. Inventory, write down what you've got. Everything from the packet of stock cubes to the flour, the sugar, the rice, the pasta, whether it's spaghetti, twirls, fettuccine, twists, whatever, the dried fruits, absolutely everything. Write down what you've got and how much of each thing you've got. And from there, menu plan using what you've got in the house. Now, you will probably still need to buy the odd thing for a few weeks. But if you're spending $2,000 a month on food, that's a lot of food in your house. So also get yourself a whiteboard or a piece of paper and a magnet. Stick it to the fridge. And when you cook something, you're a family of 4, you cook something and it has serves 6. So what you're going to do is dish up 6 serves, but 2 are going into the freezer. And then once a fortnight or once a week, once a fortnight, depending on how often you do it, you can have a freezer meal night. So it's a night when you don't have to cook, and it's a night when the family can choose what they're going to eat. They can go to the freezer and they can say, look, there's spag bowl, or there's rissoles, there's sausages, there's a little bit of veggie soup, whatever, and they can choose what they're going to have. 2 reasons for doing this. First of all, it stops waste. And secondly, you've already paid for those meals. the cost of those meals was covered in the first meal you made in your grocery shopping. So it's pretty much free food, if that makes sense. So don't waste it. Use it. If you are in the habit of taking things like that for lunch, take it for lunch rather than buying lunch. I've no idea how much it costs to buy lunch these days, but I imagine it would be a lot. I haven't bought lunch for a long time, so I don't know. The other thing is, once you've done your inventory and your meal plan, make your shopping list. Only put things on your shopping list that you need for the time being. And this is sort of going against what I was saying about run your pantry down, but you're not going to fritter the money that you're not spending away. You're going to put it in your purse, in your slush fund purse. Get an old purse, an old envelope, an old plastic bag, whatever, call it slush fund, and put the money you don't spend on groceries in that, because you will need it. Lost my train of thought. Make your shopping list. Only put on the shopping list things that you absolutely need to buy. So it might be milk, it could be cheese, it could be apples or peaches or whatever. And when it comes to fruit, we need to buy a lot of fruit. If we're going to eat 2 pieces of fruit a day, for the 5 of us, that's 10 pieces of fruit, 70 pieces of fruit a week. Now, know what your serves are and what your portions are, so that, because you don't need to buy 70 apples or 35 apples and 35 bananas, but you can use tinned fruit, you can use dried fruit, you can use fresh fruit. They all add up to a portion of fruit. So if you buy a big tin of fruit salad or a big tin of 2 fruits and decant it out into smaller portions, that's a portion of fruit. So think about that and buy only what you need. It's really tempting to buy a bag of onions, but if you don't use a lot of onion and you only use half an onion once a week or something, buying a bag is probably not the wisest way to do that. Just buy what you need. You'll need to do it for at least a month, so that you really do eat out of your pantry, and so you know what you absolutely have to buy. Hopefully you can get to buy ingredients. Now, you mentioned you buy a lot of treats and junk and stuff, so just don't. Not sure how old your children are, but if they're over 5 or 6, they're old enough to know that if they want something like that, they have to earn the money for it. So you can make up a list of jobs that they have to do to earn the money to buy their chips or cheezels, or I don't know, the tiny teddies. I don't know what kids eat these days because it's been a long time. But buy those things, or the bottle of soft drink, or the bottle of cordial, or whatever, and let them earn the money. So make them work for it. Give them the money, take them shopping with you, give them the money, show them where it is, show them how much it costs on the shelf, show them what's in their purse, how much they're going to have to fork out, and what will be left, so they understand. Start them young. Get them budgeting young. Train them up so they know is a really big thing too. You said you bake a lot, so baking perhaps make it simpler. Coffee scrolls, cinnamon scrolls. Now, it's a long time since I did it, but I could make a tray of cinnamon scrolls, 12 cinnamon scrolls, for less than the price of 2 from the bakery. They're really easy. That's the simplest thing in the world to make. Cupcakes are cheap. The other thing is, with your cupcakes, with your muffins, use the regular size cupcake papers. Don't go the big ones. Nobody needs that much cake. And if they do, they can have 2. When my kids were very little, I used to use the chocolate wrappers, the little chocolate papers. They hold about a teaspoon of batter. And I will cook now. One recipe of cake mix would make about 5 dozen of those little ones. And for Christmas, I used to put red and green jelly beans on the top, or I'd sometimes stick a Smartie on the top or whatever. They were little people. They did not need a big cake. They got a little one. It worked. If you've got little people, little food. They don't need to eat like an adult. That helps too. Do that. But I would also say $2,000, that's $500 a week. So when you go, if you go shopping weekly, it's $500 a week. So when you go to the grocery store, supermarket, take $450. Put that $50 that you're not spending in your slush fund purse. Take your $450. When you get to $450, you have to stop spending. Go home, put stuff away, make sure the basics are covered. You've got milk, you've got bread, you've got potatoes, you've got carrots, you've got whatever you need, Wheat Bix, whatever. And then next week, when you go, you're going to take $405 because you're going to cut another 10% off it. And you're going to keep doing that until you find that you cannot feed your family the way you want to on the grocery budget that you've just done. And so you'll boost it by 10%, and that will be your ideal grocery budget. I hope that makes sense. I've explained all that on our website too. Ooh, $10. Thai is so nice, isn't it? Just for a little treat. Yeah, do your inventory, Leanne, and then make a meal plan. Only buy what you absolutely need. Look at your ingredients. Once you've made your meal plan and you know what you need, look at the ingredients that you've got in the house and see if there's something that can substitute. Now, if you need a list of substitutes, go to our website. There's a list of substitutes there. There's a couple of them. They're quite comprehensive. Try that too, because that will help. Because you don't need to be buying if you've got something that will, like, okay, if you're out of body wash and you've only got a cake of soap, the cake of soap will do the job. You don't need to buy body wash. If you've got vegetable oil and the recipe says canola oil, vegetable oil will do. You don't need to buy canola oil. You don't need to buy canola oil anyway. So I know what you mean about boys that eat. I used to think my boys were hollow legs. They just eat and eat and eat. Thomas was 10 and he would have 8 Wheat Bix for breakfast. It was scary. So it is hard. And when they're big like that, they do need more calories. If he's playing sport, he needs more calories. He needs it for the energy. So, but he needs healthy ones. So So junk food isn't going to cut it. It might give him the calories, but it's not going to be healthy calories. Delaney keeps chopped up fruit in the fridge. Yep. Well, when I buy watermelon, I bring it home, I chop it up, put it in the fridge. Same with rockmelon, gets chopped up, put in the fridge. Grapes, I break into little, I don't do big bunches, I do the little sprigs, give them a wash, drain them, put them in the fridge. Yeah, so, sorry, I'm watching comments too. I do that too, Delaney. It's so much more convenient, and it makes packing lunches faster too. Yep, double duty for the oven. Never just cook one thing in the oven. Good idea, Maureen. Brownies so good. I haven't made brownies for ages. One step at a time, Leanne. Just do one thing at a time, master it, then move on to the next thing, because otherwise it gets overwhelming. And if it gets overwhelming, you're going to give up because it's just too hard. And that stupid woman said I could do it, and she was wrong because I can't. It's just too hard. So one step at a time, baby steps. None of us went from, complete spendthrift to absolute champion cheapskate in one move. Baby steps. We all have to take them. So one thing at a time. Start with your inventory, do your meal plan, do your shopping list. Try and cut your grocery shopping back by 10% each time you go, the money, and see how that goes. Once you've done that, if you've got money in your slush fund, you can go through your pantry and fill the gaps. Buy the ingredients to fill the gaps so that it's, you have enough in the house to sustain you for as long as you need it to. What can I say? Men eat a lot. My husband would eat me out of house and home if I let him. You just never stop. He never stopped eating, but he does a physical job. You're tiny, Cheryl, you're tiny. So you must eat a lot. Again, it depends on where you live, where you shop, what you buy, how you prepare it, how you use it. Everyone's going to be a little bit different. It's $300 a month. It's a guide. Go to the website, look for the $300 a month food challenge, read the outline so that you get the gist of it, and don't focus on the figure. Don't stress about the $300 a month. Yep, having a takeaway would be big help. But we call it fake away, so you do pizza. You can do fish and chips, even if it's cardboard fish. We call it cardboard fish in the boxes. The Aldi one isn't too bad. Get the New Zealand fish, and it's quite nice. Homemade wedges. Don't buy wedges. They're really expensive. A kilo of potatoes is $1, $2 at the most. That's a lot of wedges, and they're really easy to do. Chips are easy to do. I do oven fries because I'm not good at deep frying. So I do them in the oven, but make them easy. So, Leanne, if the kids are old enough, if they want takeaway, they can buy it from their own money. I was a tough mum. I was a mean mum. Not much you can do about your husband. He's a grown adult and, obviously a partner, so you can't just dictate to him. But you can sort of say, we really need to cut back. This is how much it's costing us. If we cut $1,000 a month off our grocery bill, that's $12,000 a year. What could we do with $12,000 a year? Puts it in perspective, doesn't it? That's a $12,000 boost to your savings, $12,000 extra paid off the mortgage. It's a family holiday to somewhere exotic. It's a lot of money that's just going on food. So it sort of puts it in perspective, doesn't it? Okay. Now, has anyone heard from... haven't heard from Trina, and we haven't heard from... oh, mine's gone blank. Can't remember. Katrina's not been on for a couple of weeks. I will have to send her some happy mail. I'm still having fun with the happy mail project. Sending out a few cards a week. I'm aiming to do 5 because I figure that's an easy number of stamps to get. So I can do 5 a week. Send them out. Yep. Oh, rice is expensive. Rice is not cheap. There was a Woolworths today, a 10-kilo bag of rice for $35, and it was on sale. That's $3.50 a kilo. I used to pay that for 5 kilos. So rice is expensive. Pasta's still reasonably cheap. And if you do some of the veggie pastas, they're actually quite delicious. Make your own pasta. It's not difficult. I know I've botched it a few times, but it's not difficult really. Lasagna's easy. I have the fettuccine attachment for my KitchenAid. Makes it easy. That's a good idea, Joy. Makes it easy. So pasta can be, because it's just flour and egg. Cup of flour, 1 large egg. I don't even buy the pasta flour. I just use plain flour. So Joy says, and this could apply to anybody that likes takeaway, if you really want to keep takeaway in rotation, maybe buy less real food and have a night where takeaway is scheduled and they have to wait for that. There you go. That's a good idea. No, Barb's not on. I don't think she'd mind me sharing, but Barb's grandmother passed away. She turned 99 not that long ago, on Sunday. So Barb's not on. Yeah, which is a bit sad, but anyway, 99's not bad though. Alrighty, well folks, I'm starting to get hoarse. I'm talking to myself, reading the comments, looking up here, talking to myself. So I might go rest my voice. Again, if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and then the bell. Thumbs up would be lovely. The more we get, it truly does help the YouTube genie in a bottle do his magic or her magic or its magic, because who knows. So it's easier to find us. That's what we need, to be easier to find. I'll put the links to the $300 a month food challenge information underneath me, and I'll be back next week, 7:30. Okay, have a great week, everyone. Stay cool. If it's raining, I hope it's not flooding for you. And just remember, keep on cheapskating. Bye.